Seems like he don't even want submission. He wants to hurt your face. Literally watching Gaethje train one time will make you understand that he is something special. He is something to be respected. I don't care how clean your technique is. If you don't put him away, he is a problem. He's gonna just pound you.
No matter what comes next, UFC 329 is unlikely to be remembered solely because of the injury itself. Instead, it will be remembered for the debate that followed. The countless replay angles, the conflicting opinions, the reactions from fighters and analysts, and the questions that still remain unanswered. Perhaps it truly was nothing more than one of the most unfortunate incidents ever witnessed inside the octagon. Or maybe that's exactly why so many people continue to revisit it. Either way, the discussion surrounding Conor McGregor's comeback is far from over, and it remains one of the biggest stories in the MMA world.
Right thing is stop the fight. I didn't hear what he said until I understood the language where he was like, he said it a certain way. And the third time I heard it, I was like,
we're going to finish the fight.
We're going to finish the fight. And he was talking to the ref. He wasn't talking to Ilia. So I took it as Ilia was like, dude, I can't go on. And when you hear that from your athlete, you have to make that right choice. I'm like, do we take more damage or do we go on? So look at me.
Nothing that.
Okay, it's over. It's over. Stop it. Yeah. I'm always there to protect my athletes. And it's very nice to be able to work with people that have the same goals as me. My goals is I'm never going to be a champion. I'm a championship coach, but I'm not a champion. And being able to work with people that want to chase things like that, I get so much joy out of it. Seeing the concern in his brother's eye and the way his brother was pulling the hood off, like, bro, don't be embarrassed. You fought your ass off. Like, that is special. That is like, everybody's making fun of like why he was putting a hood over his head. When you're down, you're down. And, you know, again, to be at the level that he is at took the most courage to get to that point. And what he's done to the guys prior to us. His brother was telling him, pull that off, dude. Like, don't be down. We lost. And when you lose a round, doesn't mean you lose a fight. When you win, when you lose a fight, doesn't mean you lose your opportunity for a championship.
Do what I did in the sport.
So what do you think it will take Ilia to get back to fighting again after such a loss?
Ilia's he's gonna be in a good position. He has faith. He has a strong team. And that's a lot of what it takes. He has a work ethic. I think he's honest with himself. Ilia and I, we share the same agent, and we were talking about him earlier today. And what I heard was that he's humble, that he is honest. He realized that he just didn't perform well. And I think that's the number one step of getting back into the ring in a healthy way. It's the guys that make excuses. That's when it's hard to come back and win that rematch. Guys who just say, you know what, I could have did better. I could have done more. Honesty with yourself is the key to MMA. Knowing exactly who you are, what you've done, what you haven't done. You can't lie once you get in that cage. What's real will come.
Jon Jones believes recovering from a difficult defeat is about much more than natural ability. In his view, the most important step comes after the emotions fade, when a fighter is willing to honestly evaluate what went wrong. He argues that athletes who rely on excuses often stop progressing, while those who accept responsibility give themselves the best chance to come back stronger. It's a mindset that has defined many of the UFC's greatest champions over the years. Justin Gaethje shares a similar belief, although he approaches it from a different angle. For Gaethje, real mental toughness isn't developed on fight night. It begins long before that, with the discipline, resilience, and habits built through years of wrestling.
To this fight, Justin, that was so unique was I've already lost. I've already put myself in the worst scenario. Fear is a great thing, and understanding that the worst case scenario, when you put yourself in that scenario, and what that does is that causes you not to hesitate, and you have such a unique mindset to that. Where did that come from? Where did your mindset come from?
Definitely all came from wrestling. I wrestled so many matches, and where I was mentally was a big factor and a big variable when it came to my ability to compete. So just understanding that I, had control, and really just keeping it so simple, keeping it as simple as possible, not confusing things, not overinflating things and just making it.
Justin Gaethje's mentality is a big reason he has remained one of the most durable and respected fighters in MMA. Instead of assuming everything will go according to plan, he prepares himself for the toughest possible situations, which allows him to compete with confidence once the cage door closes. That mindset was evident throughout his fight with Ilia Topuria, earning praise from people both inside and outside the MMA community. His performance even caught the attention of a boxing legend, who later offered his candid thoughts on what he had witnessed, recalling the bold predictions that had been made before the fight.
He would knock me out and whoop me and Shakur at the same time. That was Ilia, right? I got that one right.
Sure, definitely. This is my first time seeing him in a fight, and the first impression wasn't the best impression. That's just me. And for him to come out and say he gonna beat me, one of the best fighters of all time, knocking me out, I think it was a sign of disrespect. You know, like, you're not respecting my craft, which I would never go in the MMA and disrespect them and say, oh, well, I'll choke you out, or I'll do this, I'll do that, when I know it's gonna be a tough task to do, because they've been doing that for so long that they know the ins and outs. Just like boxing, I've been doing boxing since I was 7 years old. There's no way that this guy is going to come in there and do anything to me that I ain't never seen before. So seeing him get hit with the jab and the 1-2 the whole fight, I'm like, what? I'm like, what's everybody excited about? You know, he threw some good body shots. You know, he came straight forward like any straightforward fighter.
Terence Crawford didn't hesitate to share his opinion. From his perspective, the main issue wasn't that Ilia Topuria lost. It was the confidence he had displayed before the fight. Crawford took particular exception to Topuria's comments about potentially facing some of boxing's biggest names, arguing that they underestimated a sport that takes a lifetime to master, just as mixed martial arts does. His remarks quickly fueled another round of debate among fans. Some believe Crawford's criticism was warranted after the defeat, while others defended Topuria, saying self-belief has always been a fundamental part of combat sports and shouldn't be interpreted so literally. As the online discussion continued, UFC President Dana White shifted the focus to what mattered most, Topuria's condition after the fight, which had become the biggest concern for many fans.
He's doing good. You know, tough kid, obviously. You know, after the first round, his eye was bothering him. You could see that he got hit. And at one point, he like started covering his eye like this. It was kind of, you know, messing with it. And then, you know, Justin just kept busting.
Topuria is going to need time to recover mentally, emotionally, and physically. He's never lost before. This is gonna take some to overcome. One of the things that was Topuria's greatest weapons, greatest strengths, greatest traits, besides his overall ability and technically be sound, and you know, he was a full package. He really was. Talent-wise, technique, everything. But one of the things foremost that leads the way for all those things to mean something is he has supreme confidence.
Dana White's update offered positive news regarding Ilia Topuria's physical condition, but Teddy Atlas believes the toughest challenge may not be the injuries at all. In his view, healing the body is only part of the process, while recovering mentally from the first defeat of a professional career can be far more difficult. After spending years competing with the confidence that comes from being undefeated, Topuria now faces the task of rebuilding that same belief as he prepares for his return. At the same time, another major talking point has continued to divide fans: the damage to his eye, with a sports physician weighing in on why some believe the referee should have stepped in sooner.
which could be from a multitude of different reasons. But clearly here he is not able to track, says no, fight needs to be off. When he goes back and does this again, like, I think this is probably just somewhat like, okay, give me the answer that we all want to hear. It doesn't even look like he really moves his finger the second time through when Goddard goes back in. And I think Goddard was just stepping in to say, no, I think the fight should continue, but it clearly looked like a situation where he was overruling what the doctor was recommending. And that is definitely a concern. I think you have to be very careful, and part of the reason why I don't want to personally cover combat sports in person, like ringside as a physician, is because like that balance of you're there to keep the fighter safe, but yet the fighter is engaging in something that is inherently dangerous, where you know they're trying to essentially hurt each other, is a really difficult mix of kind of your obligation to the wellness of that individual, because this doctor needs to know that, of course, Gaethje is going to try to keep targeting the eye. And so that balance of like, what is safe to continue going through a combat sport versus like the letter of the law with.
The doctor's assessment has brought renewed attention to one of the most debated issues in combat sports: knowing the right moment to stop a fight for a competitor's safety. Referees are forced to make those decisions within seconds and under intense pressure, which is why opinions often remain divided long after the event is over. This contest has become another example of that ongoing discussion. While fans continued arguing about the stoppage, a new video of Ilia Topuria began making the rounds online, surprising many viewers with how healthy he appeared. In footage shared by his hairstylist, Luis Blessin, the former champion showed no obvious signs of facial injuries despite the punishment he absorbed at UFC Freedom 250. His appearance led some fans to question how quickly he seemed to have recovered, sparking even more conversation across social media.